Hi everyone, my name is John and welcome to Power Yoga. In this practice, we're going to be doing something very special. I constructed a class that I'm calling Slow Core Yoga. So in this practice, we're going to be doing a combination of things. We'll be moving a little bit slowly in some of our movement and our postures. We're going to be holding some of our postures to be working our core. So we'll be doing some strengthening, some conditioning, and some power movements for our core system. And that's going to be in combination with some Vinyasa flows, just some simple movement of our body throughout the practice. So we're going to be using a prop in this practice, and I happen to be sitting on that prop, and that is a block. I've got two here, but I happen to be sitting on one. So if you happen to have a yoga block, go ahead and grab one. Now, you don't have to have a block per se. It could even just be a small pillow, because we'll be using it in a different posture a little bit later in our practice. And another thing that you might want to have here is some of our practice will be done on the floor, on hands and knees and things like that, and sitting. And so I happen to have a thick yoga mat, but if you have a thinner yoga mat and happen to have a second one, you might want to roll out a second one on top of the first, okay? Just to give yourself a little bit more cushioning. Alrighty, I think that's it. So we are going to be starting our practice in seated. So go ahead and sit on your yoga block or blanket or small pillow, whatever you've got. Or if you're comfortable just sitting on your yoga mat, that's perfect. Find a comfortable seat. I like to cross my legs here. I happen to be sitting in half lotus. And as you're settling in, I'm just going to start with a few deep breaths. You're going to breathe in deeply through your nose. And you can exhale through your nose or out through your mouth. Do that a couple of times here, just to get reacquainted with your own breathing. Settling in. Just taking these deep breaths helps you to arrive and be here in the moment. Very nice. Then you can just settle into slow, steady breaths in and out. You're welcome to do this with your eyes opened, so you can just take a soft gaze forward or downward at the ground. Or feel free to close your eyes as you move deeper within. Slow, steady breaths. I like to call this our breathing meditation. I think this is a nice setup for the type of practice that we're going to be doing, our soft core yoga class. Very good. Just continue here, just continuing to breathe in and out, feeling more aware and present. And just to bring a little bit more awareness to your breath, when you inhale, just feel the breath rising upward, nice expansive deep breath, and feel the lungs expand. Then when you exhale, you're going to draw your navel inward towards your spine as you connect here. Again, an inhale just to feel the lifting and lengthening of your spine, sitting up a little taller, breath rising to fill up your lungs. Exhale, draw navel in. It's a light contraction of your abdominal muscles. We call this the Abdominal Lock. This is a wonderful way to help support your body, whether you're in stillness, like sitting, for example, or in motion. It gives you power and strength and energy to move. So that'll be our focus. Our primary focus, yes, will be in the abdominal section, but just as a reminder, your core is really your whole torso. Your whole torso. So again, let's just take a few more breaths. How about 3 more breaths? That inhale to fill up the lungs. Exhale, connect to the abdominal lock. Navel drawing in towards spine. We're going to add a very simple movement to this while still seated. So just follow me. We're going to inhale and extend your arms out and up, just reaching high into the sky. Then exhale, extend your arms out and then back down by your side. So a very simple movement. Again, inhale, reaching out. A nice stretch. Good extension, energy through your fingertips, reaching all the way up towards the ceiling. Then exhale, extend your arms out, and bring them back down by your side. Go ahead and do that 2 more times. A nice reaching sensation. Feel the lifting and lengthening through the sides of the body, and that's kind of the purpose of doing this arm movement. Notice the motion in your shoulders. And continue to focus on your breathing. Let's go ahead and just do this one more time. So that inhale to raise the arms, but also feel the breath rising, fill up your lungs. Now as you exhale and bring the arms down, continue to draw your navel inward towards your spine. Go ahead and rest here. You can let your hands rest in your lap, let your shoulders relax, and hold for a moment. Continue with the breath. All right, we're going to do a side stretch here. Alrighty. So I'm going to try to mirror you. So I'm taking, this is my left hand, but let's say it's the right hand. So right hand out to the right side here. Take your left arm and extend it out to the side of the room, right there. Then you're going to inhale and reach straight up to that 12 o'clock mark. When you exhale, just start to bend over towards the right side of the room. You can see my right elbow is bending as well. You can place the palm on the floor. Just something like this, just to continue that side body stretch. This will be down through the left side of your body. So reaching up, a little bend of the elbow is fine as you reach around and over. And again, notice that stretch, that lengthening down through the left side of your body. Now we're going to inhale and just kind of lift ourselves back up. You're just straightening the arms again. As you exhale, just bring that left arm back down by your side. Pause here for a moment. Take a breath. We're just going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Just a very simple movement. Go ahead and place the left hand out to the side here on your fingertips or down on the palm. Let's extend the right arm straight out to the side. Then we're going to inhale and take this arm all the way up to 12 o'clock. The exhale is the reaching over, a little bend of both elbows so you can start to feel that extension and lengthening through the left side of the body. And notice where you feel this. This is certainly all down. I can even feel this in the tricep a little bit, down past the latissimus muscles here of the back body, down past the ribs, right down to the waistline. Nice stretch there. All right, let's go ahead and re-extend the arms as we rise back up, and then bring your hand back down by your side. Hold here. Excellent. Alrighty, we're going to take ourselves onto our hands and knees. So you can just move your block or pillow or blanket out of the way. And just come to hands and knees here. Just going to do a very simple flow. And you may be familiar with this. This is just cat and cow. So an inhale to lift head and heart, a little arch of the back, creates a bit of a back bend feel. Then exhale, round it out like this. And I'll describe what's happening here. As you inhale, you're just looking forward, tipping the chin up or forward, opening up through the chest, and arched back. When you exhale, you're going to tuck that tailbone under. Feel belly button pull up towards spine. Feel the curvature of the spine. Again, feel the pelvis tip back, belly will drop. That U shape or back bend feeling in the back body, opening up through the heart. Exhale, round it out. Let's do that a few more times. When you exhale, do pay attention to that cat pose where you're drawing navel up towards spine, because that is another core engagement. Exhaling right here. And I also like this movement because we're putting motion throughout the entire torso, our core. A nice undulation through the spine. Finish the breath that you're on, and we'll take 2 more. The first part of our practice is going to involve some core stabilization, which means we're just going to be holding some postures. Alrighty? Okay, let's just hold here for a brief moment in our tabletop position. And then start to sit back, just getting off of the hands. We're going to sit off onto the floor here and extend the legs out front. Just like this. So we're going to set ourselves up for boat pose. We're going to do a variation or several variations of boat pose. Now the first variation will be with knees bent, feet or heels on the ground. Flex your feet so that it energizes the legs. Here, hold on to the bend of the knees and really help extend the spine, sitting straight up. That's an inhale actually to help the spinal extension. Exhale, connect to core. Draw navel in. Now take your hands behind you. You can even spin the palms or fingertips towards the back of the room and just kind of lean back a little bit. Just making sure your spine is straight, but we're kind of leaning back at an angle. So this is our first version of our boat pose. We're going to inhale, fill up the lungs. Exhale, draw belly in. We're starting the stabilization, holding. We're going to do several versions of this. I like this particular version because we can probably hold this for a long period of time. Feet are on the floor, your hands are on the floor. There isn't a whole lot of balance involved. But we do want that breath work. Fill up the lungs. And exhale, navel to spine. And we're going to keep the heels on the floor, but now let's go back to holding on to the bend of the knees. Inhale just to get that spinal extension. The exhale just to lean back perhaps a little bit more, but we've got something to hold on to so we don't fall backward. Again, inhaling, fill up the lungs. The breath rising here. Exhale, engage core system, draw belly button in towards spine. You might feel a little bit more abdominal contraction here and activation. Now, the next part, still in stabilization mode, we're going to release the legs. Maybe extend the arms outward, reaching out through the hands. This, of course, takes a little bit more energy and strength. You might even feel your leg muscles start to engage here too, to help you stabilize, especially in the low section of the abdominal system. Now the last one, I'm just going to keep leaning back, stepping my heels towards myself here a little bit, until I'm easily able to lift the feet into the air. So this is our last version of boat pose. Lots of things are activated here. I can feel my legs, core for certain, breath still steady and strong. Inhale for that lifting and lengthening of the spine, breath rising to fill up lungs. Exhale, core engagement. Let's see, we got two more. Ooh, I can already feel this really working strongly. After the second breath, let's just go ahead and bring the feet back down, relax. You can even extend the legs. Actually, just cross the legs here. Just come back up to seated like this. Take a few deep breaths, nice cleansing breaths, just to kind of deactivate. Well done. Okay, so that's some good stabilization work, and there'll be some other postures that we'll be doing that kind of mimic that. Boat pose, I think, is a really wonderful, kind of that stepping stone towards other core activation. All right, let's come back to hands and knees here. Let's do 3 breaths, cat and cow, just to get that mobilization through the spine once again. Inhale, cow. Exhale, round it out into cat, belly button pulling up towards spine. Again, inhale. Little back bend feel. Exhale, round it out. One more. And after that exhale, finishing in cat pose. Just soften and just hold here for a few seconds in this tabletop position. We're going to be moving into downward facing dog. So just go ahead and step your hands forward here, spreading out your fingers. So you have a good base. Go ahead and tuck your toes behind you. With a good exhale, lifting the knees and then lifting your hips up into the air, creating our inverted posture, downward facing dog. Let's hold here for several breaths. Just so you feel pretty secure, be sure you step into place. Make sure your feet feel good where they are. Adjust your hands if you need to. And just continue that deep breathing. Even though we're upside down, we still are engaging core. The inhale is still helping to activate and expand the lungs. The exhale, draw belly button in, connecting. This is also helping us to keep the hips in the air. 2 more breaths. Now, we're going to start to walk or step forward. Maybe just to the center of your mat, which is sufficient. Just until your feet are flat on the ground underneath you. Slide your fingertips towards your toes here. We're going to inhale and lift up just halfway. Right here. Maybe a little tabletop position. You can keep a good bend in the knees. You're flat like a tabletop. There's an energy through the hip bones or even your tailbone moving to the back of the room, while the crown of your head feels like it's pointing and moving you forward. Now, a lot of leg activation here, but don't forget to engage core. This is also helping you just to hold this half forward fold. Inhale for length. Exhale to connect. 2 more. Feel belly button pull up towards spine. Feel the muscles engage. After that second or third breath, shifting weight into the heels. Just kind of lean back into the heels until you can tap your toes easily. Bend your knees. Feel like you're going to sit down into a low chair. Look forward. Spread your wings, taking your arms out to the side. We're going to come to our first standing position, reaching all the way up into the air. Nice big stretch here at the top. Then exhale, bring your arms down by your side. Hold here for a moment. Alrighty. Now we usually start here for a power yoga class, but now we've come here for the first time. We're going to do another side bend exercise. So let's go ahead and inhale. Take both arms up into the air. Go ahead and interlace your fingers here at the top. And if you can, extend the arms, reaching up towards ceiling. And we're going to inhale. Keep pointing and lifting up. And as you exhale, just start to tip over towards the right side a little bit. Right about there, not very far. Inhale, keep reaching and pointing in this general direction. Exhale, another little tip to that right side. Hold here for 3 more breaths. Now, a way to help stabilize here is be sure your left foot is pressing firmly into the ground. This will kind of even out through the waistline here, so you kind of get more of the bend in the upper body. Thinking of the waistline down to your feet like a pedestal. That should be 3 breaths. Just go ahead and inhale, come back up to the top nice and tall, and go ahead and release the arms down by your side with that exhale. Feel free to kind of roll out those shoulders here too and the wrists. So another side bend. Again, we're just trying to get more length and stretch through those muscles that we're going to be working because we're going to be doing a lot of contracting too. Okay, other side. Let's inhale, take the arms all the way up, interlace your fingers, extend the arms straight up, hold. Inhale in this position. Exhale, now tip to your left side, just a little bit right there. Inhale, keep reaching and pointing. Exhale, a little bit more of a tip. Now you can go further if you want, but for me, this is about just right. Keep pressing right foot a little bit more firmly into the ground. That'll help stabilize and balance actually through the waistline. Again, just the lower half of the body acting like a pedestal, while the upper half is kind of like a fountain, like a water fountain. The water is going up and out of the spout. Feel that stretch down through the right side of the body. We're going to inhale and come right back up, nice and tall. Exhale, bring the arms back down by your side. Again, if you need to, go ahead and roll out those shoulders and shake out the wrists. All right, let's get some movement going. So now we're getting into some vinyasa, that flow that we're used to doing together. Here we go. We're going to inhale, take both arms up into the sky. Exhale, take chair pose here. Weight shift back into the hips and heels as you take your seat. We're going to inhale right here. Exhale, then dive out of your seat down towards toes, forward fold. That should be a nice release right there. Inhale, lift up halfway. We did this earlier. We'll call it monkey pose. On the exhale, fold and bend. Get all the way down low enough to place your hands on your mat. We're going to step back into plank pose. Now we're going to hold here for several breaths. This is certainly an upper body strengthening position, but of course it involves our core system. When you inhale, just feel the body get as long as it possibly can in this position. When you exhale, pull belly button, in this case, up towards your spine for the engagement. If you get tired, just set the knees down because you can still work your core. 2 more breaths. Then we're going to inhale, 3rd breath. This exhale, bend your elbows to lower yourself all the way down to your belly, all the way down to the ground. Lengthen your feet, point your toes behind you. Your hands can stay right where they are. I'm going to reposition, I'm going to take mine out a little wider, just a little bit. Roll the shoulders back, squeezing shoulder blades together. Okay, engaging the upper back muscles. Remember, your core is your entire torso. That also involves your back. So just by squeezing the shoulders back as they are like this, engaging those upper back muscles, you're working core. So another sensation here is you want to feel like you're extending, reaching, or even feel like you're crawling or dragging yourself across the floor. A slight lift of the chest, very slight, again, just enough where maybe just the sternum is lifting up off the ground and you're still able to squeeze shoulder blades together. 2 more breaths. It's a mild back bend. That lengthening process should keep that low back pretty open. All right, from here, you can just soften a little bit. Push yourself to hands and knees. Here, set yourself up for downward facing dog. Tuck toes, lift your knees and hips, downward facing dog. Right there, nice re-extension of spine. Let's do another stabilization posture. We're going to inhale, take right leg up into the air, reach. Exhale, step right foot to the top of the mat. We're going to do a warrior 1. Left heel turns to the floor, shifting your weight back into that back foot. Make sure you extend your torso long out over your front thigh. Then inhale, rise up, reach into the air. That's warrior 1. We're going to exhale and open it to a warrior 2 right here. Now I'm going to take my feet out a little wider, lunging a little deeper. Here you want to make sure your torso is straight up and down, nice and tall, arms extended. Alrighty, so this next pose I call Victorious Warrior. It works the side bodies. We already did some stretching those side bodies to now really engage the muscles of the side bodies. Here we go. We're going to reach out with the right arm to angle the upper half of the body. Keep the right arm right where it is. Bring the left hand up and over like this. Turn your palms towards each other like you're holding onto a big beach ball. So you're creating this V shape in the arms. Keep reaching, nice extension. Be aware if you're turning and falling towards the ground, you want to feel like you're turning towards the ceiling. Be sure your right knee is still pointing forward. Make sure it's not dipping to the inside of the foot. Okay, so we have a nice opening here. But because of this extension and angle and slight turn, yes, you're working the obliques here through the side body. They are really engaging here. Let's take a breath in. We're going to exhale, lift, turn, fold, bring hands to the floor, step back, plank pose, hold. 1, it realigns the body, and we're just continuing with this core stabilization. Inhale here. Exhale, lower yourself all the way down to the ground. Same thing, we're going to do that low cobra pose. Long legs, pointed toes, roll shoulders away from the floor, squeezing shoulder blades together while the chest barely lifts up off the ground. Another thing here too, another little tip, just be sure you're not lifting your head and looking forward. That might strain the neck. Just keep looking down. You might be looking down at the edge of your mat. Keep engaging those upper back muscles. Also feel like you're dragging yourself across the floor. I'm just gripping the mat with my fingertips and pulling that and reaching through my toes to the back of the room. And that keeps the low back spacious. All right, here we go. Push back to hands and knees. Set yourself up for downward facing dog. Okay, we're just going to do the other side, that Victorious Warrior sequence. Inhale, extend left leg up into the air. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the ground. Make sure there's balance on both feet. Long torso out over left thigh. Inhale, rise up, warrior 1. Exhale, opening to warrior 2. I'm going to do the same thing and take a little bit more distance between the feet. Lunging, long torso here. Extended arms, arriving in our warrior 2. Let's set it up for our Victorious Warrior. Reaching forward through the left arm, angled upper body. Keep the left arm here as we bring right hand up and over. Turn your palms towards each other. Keep extending, reaching. Turn slightly as if you're going to turn to face the ceiling. You're really just turning more sideways, that's all. Keep breathing. Strong exhales. That will help to engage those oblique muscles or the side bodies, okay, just side portions of your core system. Ooh, I can really feel this. Stabilizing. This really gets those muscles strong. Let's breathe in. Exhale, we're going to carefully turn, fold, and bend. Bring the hands down to the floor. Step back, plank pose. Hold briefly for alignment and strength. All right, this time we're going to Chaturanga Dandasana. So just coming down partially. Inhale to an upward facing dog. And as you're able, hold your up dog. Now you can even keep an angle in the upper body like this. The more you lift upward and even create more of that back bend, just feel that stretch quality through the abdominal system. 2 more breaths. Can you hold it? Very dynamic for sure. We'll take a 3rd inhale. Exhale, you can soften it and return to downward facing dog. Take a nice full breath in. Exhale, walk, step, or hop up to the top of the mat into a forward fold. You might want to release here in that forward fold because you really just came out of a back bend. Okay, you were holding that up dog, which of course is a back bend. Shifting your weight into your heels, bend your knees, look forward. Spread your wings, inhale it, stand up nice and tall, reaching towards the sky. Exhale, arms down by your side. Very nice. Again, give yourself a little shake in the shoulders. Alrighty. Okay, we're going to add some twisting here too. Okay, we've been doing some oblique work already, a little side bending, core engagement. Okay, now the obliques kind of, the way that they're shaped in our body, they kind of come around the corner, around the body like a V, like you're wearing a vest. That's how I remember my obliques. And they really give us a nice support in the sides of the body. They allow us to bend. They allow us to twist and to hold twists, okay? So go ahead and grab your block or a small pillow or even a rolled up towel. You're just going to place it between the thighs here and give it a good squeeze. Squeezing the block or whatever prop you're using will help stabilize the lower half of the body. We're going to be moving into a chair pose that, excuse me, we're going to be moving into a chair pose that we're going to twist. So I'm going to turn this way. Together, let's inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, take your chair pose. Then you can sit up high or maybe a little lower or even lower than this. This is about as deep as I'll take my chair pose. And then go ahead and bring hands to heart center. Again, squeezing the blocks will help to stabilize the hips. All right, and that's what we want for this positioning. Okay, we want everything from the waistline down to stay in place while the upper half of the body does the rotation. So we're going to inhale, lengthening through the torso. Exhale, pull belly in, squeeze the block, and then a slight rotation or twist to the right side of the room. I'll face you so you can kind of see this. So making sure that everything down below here hasn't moved. It's just the rotation of the upper body. And we're going to hold this. If you need a little extra stabilization, here's something you can do. You can take your right hand behind you perhaps. I'm just resting it on my low back. And my left hand just kind of on my right thigh a little bit. I'm just holding myself in place. Still deep breathing. Feeling the energy in the torso as it's holding this rotation. Again, more stabilization, but now in this twisted fashion. We're going to inhale here. Exhale, unwind. Maybe just place hands on knees or thighs. Just kind of a relaxation right there. And we're going to inhale, stand up tall, reach into the sky, and go right back into chair pose. So just sitting, maybe a deep seat, or stay up high if you want to. Hands to heart center. You're going to inhale here, lengthening through the torso. Exhale, twist to your left. Okay, same thing. Be sure you're squeezing the block, stabilizing the lower half of the body, so just your upper half is doing the movement. Holding in place. Now you can keep your hands in this prayer pose, or maybe this hand, right hand comes down to left thigh, your left hand might come behind you, maybe just resting on low back, and just holding here, concentrating on the breath. You want to be sure your crown or your head is pointing directly forward. Just be aware if you kind of turned out at an angle like this, okay? Everything is kind of turned in. One thing I like to say in some of my classes, just to kind of get the organization of the body, is imagine you had like your house key, and you just slid the house key into the slot and you turn the key. That's exactly what we're doing here. We don't want to put the key in and turn and bend the key. That wouldn't work at all. We wouldn't be able to get the key back out. Okay, so we want to make sure the key slides in smoothly and then returns so we can unlock the door. Inhale here. Exhale, unwind. Hands on knees or thighs. Kind of let that low back relax. And since we're here, we can go ahead and remove that block. Go ahead and carefully fold. Come all the way down to a forward fold. Let's hold there for a moment. That too should be some more release in the back body.
And we'll continue some vinyasa right here. Inhale, extending through spine a bit. Exhale, bend, fold, hands to the floor, walk, step, or hop. Both feet back, plank pose. Come right down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. We're just going to keep it moving. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's inhale, extend right leg straight up and back. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat, back to our warrior one. Plant that back heel. Long torso, inhale, rise up. Exhale, opening warrior two. We're going to take that victorious warrior again. Reaching out with the right arm. Keep right arm right there. Bring left hand up and over. Turn palms towards each other. There's our V shape. We're inhale to extend through the arms here. Exhale, turn towards the floor. Fold and bend. Bring the hands to the floor. Step back. Plank pose. Bend elbows. Come down. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Feel that stretch through the abs. And that back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feel the extended spine right there. Inhale, let's lift left foot. Extend the leg up into the sky. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat, warrior one. Plant that back heel. Long torso. Inhale, rise up. Reach into the sky. Exhale, opening to warrior two. Victorious warrior. Reach out. Keep left arm here. Right arm comes up and over. Turn palms towards each other. Keep extending. Reach. The more angle you create here, the more tension you put on those abs. Let's breathe in. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor. Step back, plank pose. Finish that sequence. Coming down. Here's our up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, we're going to take a seat. Feel free to kneel down to take your seat or hop forward, cross your legs, and take your seat. We're going to come back to boat pose. Let's do the version where we keep the heels on the ground, feet flexed, knees bent, hold on to the knees, extend spine, and lean back a little bit. Okay, let's hold here just to help get ourselves in place. We're going to add a little bit of a twist here in a moment. First, we just want to get kind of locked in. Then, as you're able, release the legs, arms reaching forward. Heels are going to stay on the floor for this. Now imagine you're holding onto a big platter, okay? In both hands, we're going to inhale, extend spine. Exhale, turn torso. You're passing the platter to the left side. Okay, just a slight turn. Hold. So we got this little twist going on right here, but holding in place. And we're leaning back. Can you feel that? Okay, breathe in right here. Exhale, return to center. Exhale. Inhale again. Exhale, twist to your right. Now it's just the torso. Now remember, you're not just taking your arms over. Okay, your whole upper body. Okay. Holding, breathing. That's the main thing we want you to remember to do, is breathe. Inhale right here. Exhale, return to center. Wow. Let's go ahead and sit up and relax. That's a lot of work for our core system. Let's come back to that seated position. This is a nice baseline to come back to after all that work. Okay, this is of course where we started our practice. So nice and tall right here. A few more breaths. Two more. Let's add on a few more poses. All right, let's uncross legs. Let's swing the legs back around behind us. Let's come to hands and knees. Let's do a little conditioning here. Cat and cow. Inhale, cow, that little back bend feel. Exhale, round it out. This is just a nice combination of movements. Just like our sitting pose is a nice baseline. This too could be considered a nice baseline, just to get kind of that free flow of the torso, your core. Alrighty, so here's what we're going to do next. We're going to do plank pose again, but we're going to do it on our elbows, and I call it dolphin plank. Because when we do dolphin pose, it's like doing down dog, but you're doing it on your forearms and elbows. So I call it dolphin plank because you're in a straight line, like plank pose. So I got the elbows and forearms on the floor. And right now they're parallel to each other, but you can certainly bring the hands in a little closer towards each other if you need to. I'm still on my knees, but I've got the toes tucked. Lift the knees to straighten the legs. And we're holding here. Now, what I find when holding this posture compared to a regular plank when you're on your hands, more core engagement is involved. Deep breathing. Some things to do here. There's not much to do here, but be sure to root down strongly through your hands and forearms into the ground to help stabilize upper body. Lift hips up a little bit, not too high. Just want to be sure you're not sinking into the low back. 2 more breaths. Then we'll set the knees back down. Take the knees wide a little bit. We're actually just going to sit back into child's pose. And you can make this an active child's pose while the hips are kind of reaching back towards the heels, hands and arms are extending and reaching out front. Just a few breaths. So another nice core activation and stabilization, getting nice and strong there. Okay, we're going to add a little side bend and twist here. Okay, just help lengthen those muscles that we just worked. So we're in child's pose. We just kind of walk your hands kind of out towards the left corner of your mat and kind of reach in that direction and really reach maybe more through the right hand and arm. Okay, then you may feel that stretch and lengthening through the right side of the body. Take 3 breaths. Deep breath, expansive breaths. Really try to breathe into the right rib cage. After that 3rd breath, you're just going to kind of walk back to center, pause there for a quick second, and then walk over to the other side. So left hand's now reaching out towards that right corner of your yoga mat. Breathing deeply now into that left side body. Another sensation, if you can feel it and activate it, is the left hip. The left hip is trying to reach behind you. It's like it's moving towards the back corner of your mat, while your left hand is reaching towards that front corner. That way you get that lengthening in opposite directions. Let's come back up to center. Rise back up to hands and knees. Tuck toes, lift knees and hips, downward facing dog. We have got another movement here. We're going to inhale, extend right leg up. Listen carefully. We're going to bend the right knee, but bring the right knee in and underneath you towards right elbow. It doesn't have to touch the elbow, and your shoulders will kind of shift so they're stacked over the wrists. So something like this. We're going to inhale, take it back to down dog, re-extend the leg in the sky. Do it again. Exhale, right knee towards right elbow. Right there. That's an exhale. Inhale, re-extend up into the sky. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Okay, we're going to flow from here. Inhale, take that right leg back up into the air, down dog. Now, right foot to the top of the mat, warrior 1. Let's keep it moving. Warrior 1 here. Exhale, warrior 2. Victorious warrior, reach out. V-shaped arms. Extend, reach. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor. Step back, plank pose. Come down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, now we're set up for the other side. When you're ready, inhale, extend left leg into the air. This movement is slow. Exhale, bend the left knee. Bring the knee in towards left elbow. It doesn't have to touch the elbow, just point toward it. Inhale, re-extend, down dog. Exhale slowly, left knee, left elbow. Feel the core connection. Make sure you get that good exhale. Inhale, re-extend, last one. Exhale, bring it in. Now we'll go for that vinyasa. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Warrior 1. Opening here on the exhale to warrior 2. Victorious warrior, V-shaped arms right here. Nice extension at that angle. Inhale. Exhale, turn. Hands to the floor. Step back, plank pose, come on down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause here. Bring knees to the floor. Bring elbows to the floor. Dolphin Plank. So we're lifting the knees off the ground. Straight legs, straight line in the whole body. Root down into the floor with the hands and forearms. Make sure you're inhaling to find length through the entire body. Exhale, pull belly button up towards spine. I know this is tough. It is a challenge, but you can do it. 2 more breaths. Set the knees down. Take them wide. Sit back for the rest in child's pose. Deep cleansing breaths. If you like, just an option at this point, if you want to do those side stretches again, by reaching to one corner, breathe into one side, and then do the other side. This is optional. You can just stay in stillness in your child's pose if you like. Alrighty, take one more breath. Come back up to hands and knees. Tuck toes, lift knees and hips, downward facing dog. Breathing in. Exhale, walk, step, or hop, both feet up to the top of the mat to your forward fold. You can release and hold there for a few seconds. Weight shift into your heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Come to standing, reaching into the air. Exhale, arms down by your side. Alrighty, are you feeling stronger? Now, not only are you working your core, this whole system of the core, of course you're using upper body, and a lot of arm work there too. All right, now we're gonna do that chair pose with a twist again, but something slightly different, okay? Instead of using a block, we're just gonna bring the legs in together, okay, as closely as you can. Maybe they'll touch, they don't necessarily have to touch, but if you can, go ahead and squeeze the thighs together. Because what we're going to do, if you're able, because I want you to be very mindful of how your body functions and how you feel at the moment. Okay, let me just turn this way so you can see that. Let me just demonstrate, just watch. Okay, I'm going to be taking my seat. My legs are squeezing in towards one another. I'm taking a deeper seat here. Hands are in prayer pose. I'm going to inhale, more length in the spine. Exhale, twist to my right, and maybe bring this left elbow down to the outside of the knee or thigh. Okay, this palm is open, okay? I'm gonna take my right fist, okay, and plug it right into the fist, into the open palm right there. So I'm just and it really just helps to stabilize. Okay, the fist in the palm and the fingers are just kind of wrapped around. And so I'm in this deep seated twist, alrighty? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and unwind, nice and tall. So let's do that together. Okay, so once again, let's be sure the legs are in tightly. Okay, squeezing as if you were holding onto that block. Here we go. Inhale, take both arms up into the sky. Exhale, take your chair pose, sitting back and down as deeply as you can. Let's bring hands to heart center. Okay, if you're losing your balance, it's okay to take the feet slightly apart. You can use a block here or something even like a pillow, something softer. Because I like bringing the legs together because it's going to make it a little bit easier, I think, to get the elbow to the outside of the knee or thigh. You need to get low enough. Inhaling, putting the key into the door, block there. Exhale, twist to your right. Your left elbow, if possible, is coming down to the outside of that knee or thigh. Okay, your left palm is open. Left fist, it's your right fist. Okay, right into the palm and just hold on. Feeling the hips reach directly back behind you. Crown is pointing directly forward. Rotating to the right side of the room. Key in the slot. We're not going to hold here long. This takes a lot of balance, especially with the feet together like this. Okay, we're going to breathe in. Exhale, carefully release, unwind, and fold. Hold here for a second. Weight shift into the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Come to standing, big reach. Exhale, arms to your side for a moment. Okay? Did that work out for you? Now, it's okay if you didn't get low enough to get the elbow to the outside of the knee. Perfectly fine. Just do that same mild rotation, okay, like we did earlier, or just somewhere in between those two systems.
Other side, here we go. Inhale, reach into the air. Exhale, take your chair pose, hands to heart, squeezing thighs together, and getting as low as you possibly can. Inhale here. Exhale, revolve or twist to your left. If you're able, right elbow to the outside of the left knee or thigh. Right hand or the palm is open. Left fist comes down into the palm and just wrap the fingers around. Rotating, check in. If you look directly down, if you turn your head and look down, you can easily see your toes. Okay, you're not off turned out at an angle, okay? You're looking down, you see your toes. That way you know your key went into the slot smoothly. 2 more breaths. All right, we're gonna get ready to flow, but first we need to unwind and fold. Let everything release and come back to center line. We're gonna flow here. Here we go. Inhale, monkey pose. Exhale, fold and bend. Hands to the floor. Hop or step back. Plank pose. Come down. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to inhale, extend right leg up. Right knee to right elbow. Slow. Take your time. Right knee towards right elbow. Exhale. 2 more times. Inhale. Re-extend leg. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Slow. Inhale 1 more time. Reach up. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, re-extend. Going to warrior 1. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel plants into the ground behind you. Find that balance. Long torso. Inhale, rise up. Warrior 1. Exhale, opening warrior 2. Victorious warrior right here. Reach out. Angled body. V-shaped arms. Reach. Inhale. Exhale, turn. Bring the hands to the floor. Step back, plank. Hold. Still holding. Listen carefully. We're going to gently set the knees onto the floor. Bend elbows, bring elbows to the floor. We're going to Dolphin Plank. Once your arms are on the ground, re-lift the knees. Straight line, 3 breaths. Slow, deep breaths. Oh, I know you're working hard on this one. After that 3rd breath, you're going to set the knees back down so you can rise back up onto the hands. Return to downward facing dog. We're set for the other side. Inhale, extend left leg up. Slowly, with an exhale, bring left knee towards left elbow. Take your time. Completely exhale there. Inhale, re-extend. Are you moving slowly? Exhale, left knee, left elbow. 1 more. Inhale, extend. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. And our flow. Inhale, reaching up with that leg. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat, warrior 1. Rising high. Exhale, warrior 2. Victorious warrior. Reach and extend at the angle, breathe in. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor. Step back, plank pose, hold. Gently set knees onto the ground. Then set the elbows onto the ground. Yes, we're returning to our Dolphin Plank. Tuck toes, lift the knees, hold. We're going to add something here, another dynamic. You're going to lift your left foot off the floor 2 inches. Set it back down. Lift your right foot up off the floor 2 inches. Set it back down. Lift the left foot 2 inches. Set it back down. Right foot, set it down. Left foot, set it down. We're walking, but you're not lifting the foot very high. And just kind of get this walking sensation. You are really working your core here. 2 more both sides. There's 1 and 2. Set the knees down. Sit back. Child's pose. Wow. This is our resting moment. Very dynamic.
Again, that same option of doing the side stretches. Reaching out to the corners. Take those deep cleansing breaths when we're engaging, especially in poses like we just did. Sometimes the breath gets a little shallow. So we want to return to the full depth of our pranayama, our breath work here. Rise up to hero.
Very nice. Let's go ahead and take a seat. We're going to do one more boat. Let me adjust my mat here. Let's do that same boat we did earlier. Knees bent, heels on the ground, flexed feet. Hold on to the legs here. Get that full spinal extension. And then lean back. Hold for a moment to help stabilize and get ourselves in place. The inhale to fill up the lungs. Exhale, engage. You might even want to lean back a little bit more if you want to challenge yourself that much more. Free up the hands, reach forward. Hold on to the platter. Yes, we're in a twist. Breathe in. Exhale, rotate to the left. Hold. Inhale, right in place. Exhale, return to center. Hold. Inhale. Exhale, rotate to your right. Couple breaths here. Body is working hard. Back to center. Okay, let's see if we can lean back. Step the feet a little bit closer in. Lift feet. If you are tired, you might be shaking. I know I am. Wow, we are really working our bodies. One more breath, you've got it. Exhale, let's set it all down. Let's return to that nice baseline sitting position. Either just an easy pose. That's just simply crossing the legs. Of course, I'm sitting in my half lotus. Be sure you're sitting up nice and tall. Let your shoulders and arms and hands just relax. Come back to that deep breathing. Fantastic work. Alrighty, we're going to do some more. Now we're going to do some more floor work, but we're going to be lying down. Take a couple more breaths here while in seated and see if your breath is starting to come back to that baseline, especially if you were breathing pretty quickly, okay? And it's okay if you were breathing quickly because we were working hard there. All right, let's go ahead and lie down. Just be sure you're sitting in the center of your mat, and then go ahead and roll down onto your back. Go ahead and hug the knees into chest. And if it feels good, maybe a little massage work here. Just some movement, some rocking. We're going to take a bridge pose, which is a back bend. Still working core. Now we did a few back bends. We didn't pay the closest attention to them, except when we did that low cobra, engaging the upper back. And of course we did, upward facing dog, which of course is a back bend. But now let's do a little bit more focus again, using bridge pose. So just gonna keep the knees bent, plug the feet into the ground. Take a couple breaths, just to settle in. Now, inhale to fill up your lungs. Exhale, engage the belly like we've been doing. Peeling your hips up into the air, off the floor and into the air. I like to turn my palms up, which actually creates an outer rotation and spiral, or outer spiral of the arms. And that way I can actually kind of slide this left shoulder a little bit more underneath me. Same with the right. Now the arms can remain straight and flat on the floor, but what I tend to do is bend the elbows like this, fingertips reaching for the ceiling, press down into the ground with the triceps. It just feels like I can lift a little higher and actually hold myself in place a little longer.
So now we're just getting a nice opening for the whole front side of the body, but of course, yes, we are in a back bend. This is still core work. Back bends we can consider core work as well. Holding. Make sure the feet feel rooted strongly into the ground. Yes, your thighs and hamstrings and glutes are going to fire up. This position is, it works your entire body. Deep breaths, fill up the lungs, feel that expansiveness. Exhale. Yes, you're still engaging your core. 2 more breaths here. After the second breath, just wiggle your toes and feet forward. Extend your arms up into the air. That should get the shoulders out from underneath you. And then go ahead and roll back down. Carefully, safely landing. Once again, hug knees into chest. We're almost done. Hug the knees in. Maybe a little bit more movement, a massage here. Circles, rocking left and right, forward and back. We're going to take our last twisting position. With knees still hugging in. Now we're going to take both knees over to the left side of the room while you extend your right arm to the right side of the room. This creates another twist, but hopefully more of a restorative twist. Here you might be able to step back into that deep breathing, slow, steady breaths that you established at the beginning of your practice. Because we're almost done. We're going to finish with these twists and then move into Shavasana. Deep cleansing breaths here. Maybe 3 more. Ready, just return to center. You might even hold center for a moment, just allowing the spine to realign. And then taking knees over to the other side, knees to the right. As you extend your left arm to the left, just settle in. Once again, just deep breaths. Relaxing into the pose. You've just contemplated what you've done. You did some very hard work. Lots of, these combinations of holding, very challenging core strengthening and conditioning core postures, along with the flow, the movement, the vinyasa. Moving through those yoga sequences together. Go ahead, take 3 more breaths on this side. Back up to center, maybe one last hug, but then extend the legs out in front of you, and then extend your arms behind you. Reach and stretch, lengthening. A couple times here. Each inhale is getting a little longer, and just stretching the whole body out. Exhale, relax. And that last one, you can even relax your arms down by your side, turn your palms up. Let the whole body just soften and just melt into the ground here. Let the feet just naturally fall open, the legs will follow, hips will open naturally here as well. Feel the low back, just kind of relax. It might even touch the ground, just depending on the arch in your back. But feel other parts of your back just melt into the ground. Feel free to keep your eyes open. You might just gaze upward, or close your eyes and take your journey inward. Having tapped into your strength, deep strength. Maybe we had to dig a little deeper, especially after holding some of those challenging postures, but hopefully you found it. I believe you did.
continue to focus on your breathing in and out. You're welcome to stay here as long as you like. Just allow the body to fully relax and just hold this space. Deep relaxation, deep meditation. Even as I end the practice, you can stay right here. And when it is time to move, whenever that might be for you, start with 5 slow, deep breaths. As you're breathing, feel movement return to your body. And after your 5th breath, moving in slow motion, slowly roll onto either side of your body. Just moving into this nurturing pose. Then slowly press yourself up to seated. Feel free to sit on your block or blanket or pillow. We're returning to the space where we began. Seated, legs crossed, lengthened spine, arms relaxed down by your side. Once you're here, just take a nice full breath in and out. Very good. And then one last movement together. We'll inhale, extend the arms into the air. Exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Hold here in stillness, taking one more breath. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow, saying Namaste.